You make a decision, and for a second, your mind is quiet. But then later, it comes back. What if I messed up? What if they think something bad about me? What if this goes wrong? And suddenly, your brain is no longer in the present. It is in a version of reality that doesn't even exist yet. And the scary part is, it feels real.
Yeah, even though nothing is actually happening.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Real Life English Talk Podcast. I'm Julia, here with Alex.
Hey everyone, glad you're here with us again.
If you've been following this series, this is the final episode.
We've been talking about overthinking, why it happens, how it affects decisions, and today we bring it all together.
Yes, and finally answer the big question. How do you actually stop overthinking in real life?
Yeah, we're not going to give you a perfect fix, because honestly, that doesn't exist. But we'll talk about what actually helps in real life, in small moments when your brain gets stuck. And stay with us until the end. We'll also review useful vocabulary used in today's episode.
I think people imagine overthinking as just thinking too much. But it's not really that.
No, it's more like being stuck in a loop you didn't choose.
Yeah, like you're in bed or walking or trying to relax, and suddenly your brain replays something small from earlier.
And it doesn't stay small anymore.
Exactly. It grows quickly and you kind of start adding meaning to it.
Why did I say that? Did I sound weird? Did they think something bad about me?
And the strange part is, you're not reacting to reality anymore. You're literally reacting to your own interpretation of reality.
Totally, and that's where the stress and anxiety comes from.
But why does the brain even do that?
I think it's because uncertainty feels uncomfortable.
So the brain tries to kind of solve it,
Yes, even when there is nothing to solve.
like filling in the gaps.
Exactly. If someone doesn't reply, your brain doesn't like the I don't know scenario you know, so it creates a reason.
Even if that reason is negative.
Yes, because a negative story feels more complete than uncertainty.
So what do you actually do in that moment?
One thing that really helped me is writing it down.
Like journaling?
Yes, but I mean not necessarily journaling, just getting it out of my head.
What changes when you write it down?
It stops feeling like it's everywhere in your mind, because overthinking feels like mental noise that repeats.
Yeah, it's not just one thought. It's constant repetition.
Exactly, but when you write it, suddenly it becomes something external.
Like you can look at it from afar instead of being inside it.
Yes, and often you realize it sounds very different on paper than in your head.
That actually connects to something else I've noticed. When I don't say things out loud, I think about them more.
Totally, that's very real.
Like if something bothers me and I don't say it, it just stays in my head for days.
That's because the mind keeps unfinished conversations.
Unfinished conversations. I like that.
And they turn into overthinking because nothing gets resolved.
So what helps?
I guess is the same as journaling, right? Kind of take it out of your head before it becomes an overthinking trigger. So definitely speaking about it early can help in a calm way, just honest.
Like, hey, this didn't feel great for me.
Exactly, because when you express it, your brain doesn't need to repeat it anymore.
That's interesting. It's like your mind relaxes once it knows it's been expressed.
Yes, overthinking often comes from unspoken emotions.
But sometimes the thought is still there, even after writing or speaking, right?
Yes, then the deeper step here is actually asking, where is this coming from?
That's a powerful question.
Because most overthinking is not about the present situation.
Makes sense. It's usually not really about the situation itself. It's about something deeper underneath.
Exactly. Someone doesn't reply, and instead of simply thinking, maybe they're busy, your mind instantly jumps to, I'm not important.
And that's why the reaction feels so much bigger than the actual situation. What's interesting is how the mind almost always makes it personal, right? It's rarely just, they didn't reply. It becomes, I'm not important enough, or I did something wrong.
Yes, and when you ask, where is this coming from? You often realize it's not about today.
It's about older feelings.
Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of being ignored.
So the situation happening right now is usually just triggering something that was already there underneath.
Exactly. And once you start seeing that clearly, it suddenly has a lot less control over you.
One thing I've realized is you can't always think your way out of overthinking.
No, and I think that's where a lot of people get trapped because they believe if I just analyze this a little more, I'll finally feel calm. But most of the time, the opposite happens.
Totally. The more you think, the more anxious you become.
Yeah, because overthinking doesn't usually create clarity, it creates more noise. And after a certain point, the problem is no longer the thought itself. Your whole body is stressed.
What do you mean by that?
Like, your nervous system is activated. Your body thinks something dangerous is happening.
Even if you're just lying in bed thinking.
Yes. That's why overthinking can feel so physical sometimes. Your chest tightens, your stomach feels heavy, your heart starts racing.
And then the mind starts using those feelings as proof. You think, if I feel this anxious, the thought must be true.
Exactly, and that's such an important thing to understand. People often confuse emotional intensity with truth.
Wow. Yes. Just because a thought feels intense or overwhelming doesn't automatically make it real.
Right. Anxiety has a way of making thoughts feel incredibly convincing, even when they're not accurate at all.
So, what do you do in that moment?
Honestly, sometimes the best thing is to stop trying to solve the thought completely.
That sounds hard for overthinkers.
Yeah, it is. But instead of asking, how do I stop this thought? Ask, what does my body need right now?
That feels much gentler.
Yeah, maybe you need sleep. Maybe you've been on your phone for 5 hours. Maybe you haven't eaten properly all day.
Or maybe you've just been alone with your thoughts for too long.
Exactly. Sometimes overthinking gets louder simply because you're exhausted.
I noticed that too. At night, everything suddenly feels more dramatic.
Yes! Problems feel bigger at 1 a.m.
And then the next morning, you look at the same situation and think, why was I panicking so much?
Exactly, because your nervous system calmed down.
So, calming the body is actually part of calming the mind.
Completely. That's why movement helps so much. Walking, stretching, breathing deeply, taking a shower.
Even cleaning helps me sometimes.
Same. Because action interrupts mental spirals.
And I think people underestimate simple things: sleep, water, going outside.
Yes, we try to solve emotional overload with more thinking, when sometimes the body is just asking for regulation.
Exactly. And honestly, some thoughts disappear the moment your body feels safe again.
I think this is the hardest part to accept, but maybe also the most important. The goal is not to stop thoughts completely.
No, because thoughts never fully stop. Everyone has strange thoughts, anxious thoughts, negative thoughts sometimes.
The difference is, not everyone believes them immediately. I think overthinkers treat every thought like an emergency.
Yes, every thought feels important, urgent, like it must be solved right now.
And that creates exhaustion.
Completely. Because imagine reacting emotionally to every single thought your brain creates all day.
That sounds terrifying, actually.
Right? And that's how many people live without realizing it.
So I think the big shift is you stop asking, how do I make this thought disappear? And you start asking, do I actually need to engage with this thought right now?
That's such a different mindset.
Yeah, because some thoughts are useful. But many are just fear, stress, insecurity, exhaustion, old wounds.
Or just mental noise.
Exactly.
I remember once someone gave me advice that helped a lot. They said, "Not every thought deserves a conversation."
Oh, that's good.
Because I used to sit there and debate every fear in my head for hours.
Ugh. And in the end, attention feeds thoughts.
So sometimes healing is not solving the thought, it's not feeding it.
Yes. Letting it pass without building a whole story around it.
That's hard though.
Very hard at first. Because overthinking becomes a habit. Your brain automatically follows every fearful idea.
So, how do you create distance?
Honestly, sometimes with very small moments.
Like what?
Like noticing the thought and saying, okay, my brain is creating fear right now.
Instead of, "This fear is reality."
Exactly. That small difference changes everything.
Because now you're observing the thought instead of drowning in it.
Yes. And over time, you realize something really important. Your thoughts are not always telling you the truth.
They're often telling you what you're afraid of.
Exactly.
And I think that's freeing.
Me too. Because then you stop trying to become a person with perfect thoughts.
And instead become someone who isn't controlled by every thought.
Yes, that's the real goal.
So, overthinking is not really a thinking problem.
No, it's more like a meaning problem. We give too much meaning to thoughts that are just mental noise.
And when you add awareness, expression, and action, it starts to lose power.
Before ending the episode, let's have a quick recap of the vocabulary we used and learned in today's episode.
Overthinking. Repeated thoughts that create stress instead of clarity.
Uncertainty. Not knowing what will happen.
Interpretation. The meaning you give to a situation. Trigger. Something that activates an emotional response. Awareness. Noticing your thoughts without reacting to them.
Externalizing. Putting thoughts outside your mind, writing or speaking them.
Unfinished emotion. Feelings that are not expressed or resolved.
Emotional overload. When you experience so many strong emotions at once that it becomes hard to think clearly or stay calm.
Nervous system. The body's stress and calm response system.
Distance. Separation between you and your thoughts.
Engaging. To interact with someone or something, pay attention to it, or become involved in it.
And that's the end of our Overthinking series.
If you've been stuck in your head like this before, you're definitely not alone.
And you don't fix it by thinking more. You start by getting it out of your head.
Then slowly learning not to believe every thought.
Thank you for being here with us.
See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye, everyone.